what do I, what's not getting me what I want? So that you don't reach a point where, hey, it's go time and I need to make some decisions and the groundwork's not there. Because I think, and this isn't a comment on what you said, but I think a lot of times people do think, well, it doesn't matter, okay, now I'm going to get in a marriage mindset and I'm going to somehow be able to click into gear and everything's going to fall into place. And I think, good luck with that. For some people that can happen, that can work, but it's not necessarily the way that's satisfying for a lot of people.
I think kind of in comment to what he was saying, I just thought about like making something out of nothing and sort of like tying into what I was saying, like I guess once you reach a certain point, like you know what you want out of life, you know where you're gonna be in 5 years, but I guess once you start looking for that, I guess if you like find a person that you think you might want to do that with, like, I guess be better for each other, and that person doesn't want that with you, then I think that's another tendency that we have, like, you may know what you want at this point in life, but that person doesn't, and so if you like, get too connected to that person where there's nothing there, then that's another, I guess, problem that people run into, is that you're like both not on the same level.
Yeah, and sometimes that other person can come around, but a lot of times you reach a point where you continue to sort of bump up against the same disappointment or the same kind of signal that says this person isn't going to be the person that you wish they would be, or even they could be, because they're either not there yet, or their own map that they're using is sort of pointing them in a different direction, and that's those are really painful decisions to have to make, and especially if you've already been with someone or been in connection with somebody for a long time. Well, I think this question of how to do relationships, how do we do that? One of the things that we haven't talked a lot about today that I think is an important aspect of relationship is how one relates to oneself. And I don't think that's been mentioned yet. I'm going to pull that. Shut this up, okay? And we've talked about the better that we understand the other person, the more that we're able to figure out how they communicate and how they think and operate, the better we're going to be able to engage them and have less conflict. But before we can even do that very well, we really have to understand ourselves as well as we can. And of course, we're walking around, we're carrying this map that we use, that we just instinctually or intuitively, we do life, we do relationship, but we don't often really step back and think, okay, what am I bringing to the table here? What are wounds that I'm carrying around that I'm looking to someone else to fill for me? And maybe I'm not asking that question out loud even to myself, but what kind of unfinished business or what similarities or differences to the family I grew up in and the environments I were exposed to am I seeking in this other person? And I think one of the ways that we get into some real difficulty, or even kind of some of what you're saying, is we get so far into a particular relationship, and back to the question I was asking a minute ago, what can a relationship give you or what can't it? There are certain things a relationship can't do for you. If you're looking for your relationships to provide confidence for you, or to give you a sense of self-esteem, or to feel, fill in the blank. Certainly our relationships are going to contribute to those feelings, but a real danger, I think, is when we sort of put all our eggs in that other person's basket and hope that they're going to be able to do for us what mom and dad didn't do, or what the boyfriend I had in high school didn't do, or give me something that that's going to heal that wound one way or the other. So again, I think this is an area that we don't think naturally about, we don't talk a lot about, because we are very, and rightfully so, we're very other-focused in terms of what we're trying to do for others, how we're trying to relate to others. but when it comes down to it, a lot of times we just really don't know ourselves. And I don't mean to make all this gigantic commercial for counseling, but counseling is one way, engaging in that kind of process where you're self-reflective and where you're, you know, being asked questions, being confronted with things about yourself, in a sense being told, why are you wearing that, in a sort of figurative way, that hopefully can help you not blindly walk into the kinds of situations and things that set you up to be disappointed or hurt, or to be trying to get out of relationships something they can't give you. But again, I don't mean to say that, you know, so let's all go to counseling and march to the counseling center right now, because that's not necessarily for everybody. And I think there are, it's in relationship that we learn how to do relationship better. I was talking with somebody the other day, and I'll just tell you one of my bloopers. I said, somebody who was considering dating, and I said, well, you know, I think in relationship, or we have to learn how to do relationship in a hands-on way, or something like that. And it was a really goofy kind of thing, and couldn't keep a straight face the rest of the session. But really, I think that's true. You know, from the very beginning, we're being shaped. We're shaping others. We're you know, bouncing off what we experience, and the more intentional we are about how we relate to ourselves and how we relate to others, the more we're going to be able to find satisfaction and realize, what is it I'm asking about in a person, and this is something they can give me. What do I need to find within myself before I can really connect in a meaningful, deep way with other people? So, like I said, I don't know that there's one answer to the question of how to do relationship, or one way of doing it, but I think our starting point really has to be understanding how we've come to be the way we are, how we've come to do relationship in the way that we do, and from there begin to make changes and adjustments and seek, seek to right the wrongs we've experienced, seek to answer the questions we've not gotten answered, and you know, and hopefully as much as possible in a proactive way, even though a lot of times life puts us on the defensive, to be able to figure it all out. So I really appreciate you guys' engagement and questions and responses, so that it wasn't just me standing here lecturing the whole time. And I think I passed around the index cards at the beginning in case anybody had a question they didn't want to, oh, you didn't get one. As I look around, it doesn't look like anybody's written anything on them, and I think you guys were all pretty forthright in asking questions while we were going, but I want to be sensitive to time in case anybody's getting to a class starting the next hour, but I'd love to stand around and chat for a few more minutes for those if you have other questions or other kinds of things that you want to you know, comment about or whatever. And just to reiterate, the Counseling Center is downstairs in the Commons. We're here and available, and it's really easy to get started. So thanks for your time, and thanks for your attention and engagement, and not hanging me out to dry up here. So thank you.